So, you've got this incredible idea, right? A mission you're passionate about, and you're ready to build something that really makes a difference. But then you run into this wall of jargon. 501c3. It sounds complicated, like a mountain of legal paperwork. But what if it wasn't? What if it was just a roadmap? Well, that's what we're here to do. We're going to break down the entire process of starting a 501c3 nonprofit right here in Missouri and turn that whole journey into a clear step-by-step plan.
Here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the absolute basics, the foundation. Then we'll walk through the two big steps, incorporating in Missouri and then getting that tax-exempt status from the IRS. After that, it's all about the people, building your board. And finally, we'll cover how you keep everything running smoothly for the long haul. Ready? Let's dive in.
All right, first up, the foundation. Before we even think about filling out a single form, we've got to get on the same page about what a nonprofit actually is and isn't.
So let's just tackle the biggest misconception right out of the gate. I get asked this all the time. Can a nonprofit actually make a profit?
The answer is a huge, emphatic yes. Absolutely. But here's the catch, and it's the whole point. Unlike a regular business, a nonprofit doesn't have owners or shareholders getting rich off the profits. Any extra money you make, it gets plowed right back into the mission to do more good. That's the deal.
Okay, this next part is so important to understand. There are two different things happening here. First, you have nonprofit status. That's a state-level thing. You're telling the state of Missouri, hey, I'm creating a nonprofit corporation. It's about creating a legal entity. But tax-exempt status, that's federal. That's you going to the IRS and saying, please don't make us pay federal income tax. Two separate steps, one at the state level, one at the federal.
In this little chart shows you why almost everyone is chasing that 501c3 designation. Look at that middle row. Receive tax-deductible donations? For a 501c3, it's a big yes. For a 501c4, it's a no. That single word, yes, is the key. It's what allows people to donate to you and get a tax write-off. For fundraising, that is an absolute game changer.
Okay, let's get into the action. Section 2, Incorporate in Missouri. I love this subtitle because that's exactly what this is. You're creating your organization's official birth certificate.
And the document that does this is called the Articles of Incorporation. I know, it sounds super formal and intimidating, but don't let it fool you. It's really just the form you file with the Missouri Secretary of State to say, we exist. It's what makes your nonprofit a real, legal entity in the eyes of the state. So why bother with this step? What's the point? Well, the reason is huge. It's one phrase. Limited liability. By creating this separate legal person, you're building a legal shield. If something goes wrong and the organization owes money, they can't come after your personal house or your car. It protects you and your board members. It's absolutely crucial.
Okay, our nonprofit has its Missouri birth certificate. It's officially born. Now it's time for Section 3. We're going to the federal level to get that IRS tax-exempt status. This is the step that really unlocks all those powerful fundraising and tax benefits.
And yeah, I'm not going to lie. This part does involve a bit of paperwork, but look, don't get intimidated. It's a clear, well-defined process. You just have to take it one step at a time. So here's that path. First, you get an EIN, an employer identification number. It's basically a social security number for your organization. Then, you double-check that your founding documents have some specific magic words the IRS looks for. After that, you file the big one, Form 1023. And if all goes well, you get that golden ticket in the mail, your determination letter.
And listen to this quote from BoardSource. They know their stuff. That determination letter is arguably the most important legal document your organization possesses. This is it. This is the official proof from the U.S. government that you are a 501c3 charity. You're going to want to frame it, but also maybe just make a lot of copies and keep the original in a fireproof safe. Seriously. Phew. All right, the heavy paperwork is done. Now, let's switch gears and talk about the people. Section 4 is all about your board of directors. These are the guardians of your mission.
So let's talk numbers. Legally speaking, in Missouri, you can get started with a bare minimum of 3 board members. That's the floor. That's all the law requires.
But, and this is a big but, just because 3 is the legal minimum doesn't mean it's the best idea. The Better Business Bureau, a group that knows a thing or two about accountability, recommends at least 5, and it just makes sense, right? More people means more ideas, better oversight, and a wider network to help you succeed. And no matter if you have 3 board members or 30, every single one of them has 3 core legal responsibilities. We call them the 3 duties. The duty of care, you got to pay attention. The duty of loyalty, the organization's needs come before your own. And the duty of obedience, you have to stay true to the mission. These are the pillars that hold up the integrity of your entire organization.
Which brings us perfectly to our final section, staying compliant. You see, getting that 501c3 letter isn't the finish line, it's the starting gun. This is about playing the long game to make a lasting impact.
The single most critical thing you'll do every year is file an annual return with the IRS. It's called the Form 990. This isn't a tax form in the traditional sense, it's an information form. It tells the IRS, and just as importantly, the public, where your money came from and how you spent it to further your mission. It's all about transparency. And of course, compliance is more than just one form a year. It's about the daily habits of a healthy organization. You know, keeping good financial records, actually holding those board meetings you said you would, and following the rules you wrote for yourself in your bylaws. It's the boring stuff that makes the exciting stuff possible.
So there you have it, from a simple state filing to that coveted federal status. From building your team of guardians to staying on track for years to come. It's not some big, scary mystery after all. It's a roadmap, and now you have it. So the only real question left is, what world-changing mission are you going to launch?